Alright, what's up, homies? It's your boy Kyliga, and this will be my first review on my channel. And I thought it'd be good to start with something I started keeping up with as of recently. And this wasn't a series that I ever read before, and this wasn't something that I kept track with since its beginning. It's just something that got popular, and I decided to keep up with it because it seemed pretty cool and unique. And that series would be the anime series titled Dandadan. Dandadan is a Shonen Jump series made by an author by the name of Yokinobu Tatsu that follows two characters named Momo Ayase and Ken Takakura, aka Okurun. You'll see when we get there. And for the sake of anyone who hasn't seen the series yet, I'll refrain from any major spoilers and cover the basics and characters. We'll start with Momo Ayase, who's a normal high school girl that believes in ghosts, and she has an upfront but also kind personality. In the start of the show, she gets dumped by her first boyfriend, who she went out with just because he looked like her favorite character. I don't know if it was from a game or an anime or whatever, but after crying about it to her friends, she walks down the hall where she hears a bunch of kids picking on Okurun, who is a gloomy and reserved boy. After their interaction, Okurun rushes to make friends with Ayase, assuming she believes in UFOs, or UAPs, my bad. Okurun shares his belief in aliens, to which she denies, but she tells him she believes in ghosts, to which he just laughs at her for it. So they make a bet in trying to make one believe the other. So she goes to an abandoned hospital, and he goes to an abandoned tunnel where he encounters a evil spirit by the name of Turbo Granny, who is just a crazy horny old lady basically. And Ayase encounters a trio of horny aliens, and this is where the series gets. This is where I give my first critique of this show. It's fucking chaos. Now, from a neutral standpoint, this show is one of the most unique things I have ever come across. Sometimes with anime, we've seen series that touch on aliens and ghosts before, but not like this, at least in this type of fashion. I want to point out that I love how the animation goes from looking like JJK or Dragon Ball Z or like Naruto to something straight from Sesame Street. I don't know why, the characters' expressions are pretty funny sometimes. One of the main things that drew me to the anime was the cast for the English dub, specifically Kari Walgreen, who is one of the best in the game. And she doesn't do too many roles in anime that much, at least not that I'm aware of, but she's actually a great fit for the role of Granny Seiko, who is, I think, a shaman or something like that. I always forget, but when I took a look at the cast, I was actually impressed of how stacked it was with Kari Walgreen, Abby Trott, AJ Beckles, Alex Lee, Amberly Connors, Lisa Raymold, and some others as well. When I heard great reviews on the English dub, I decided to give it a check, and it's really great. In the chaos of a lot of this show, I thought this was just gonna be like that forever, but it actually has a lot of great narratives to offer when it comes to the characters and the spirits, especially with Silky Acrobat, which I did not think it was gonna go the way that it did, but it made me shed a tear. And again, I won't spoil it, but check it out if you really want to know. A lot of the characters who are introduced along the way tend to be pretty unlikable or insane right off the bat. For example, Ira, or something like that. Ira started off as unlikable as any girl like her can get. But as the series progresses, she actually has a good heart, but also lacks a brain. Gigi right out the bat is a straight wackadoodle, and of course there's a whole love rivalry between him and Okurun for Momo. Also, the same goes for Ira and Momo for Okurun. The love competitions in this series is actually insane. I don't know why. Turbo Granny is pretty much like the mascot of the show, considering she goes from being an evil spirit to a stuffed kitten. I really love her voice, considering she's voiced by Barbara Goodson, who was Lady Chiho from Naruto Shippuden and even Kid Goku from old school Dragon Ball. I also respect the anime for staying true to the tone of the series from the manga and not really censoring too much of the dialogue. The humor and tone is something I always look forward in a show like this. and it just matches up pretty well, and it's worth sticking around for. I also like that it has a cast of reoccurring characters, like, you know, the homies that pull up to help out in the fight, and the villains that never stop coming back. We don't usually get a lot of that with shows like this anymore, considering in a lot of even the greats, some villains are a one and done deal, so I'm glad that's not the case with this series. The majority of the series is still contained in the manga, and there's a lot of room for new stuff. And so far, Dandadan is really great. It's a whole lot of fun and really entertaining. I understand a lot of people's opinions of the show as far as like the humor not being their cup of tea and all around hard to follow. I get that. But the main thing I value from this show is it's very entertaining despite being as chaotic as it is. It's the gift that keeps giving. If you read the manga, you know what I'm talking about. As far as fan service, I'm not a fan of it, and that's the case with a lot of shows for me. The transformations aren't always the biggest or most anticipated for this series, which I do see how it lacks in that field, but it's not that big a deal for me because they're either fine or just okay. As far as my thoughts on the series right now, I'm loving it. The art style is actually one of my most favorites right now, so I'm really interested in seeing if there's an end goal or objective in sight for the series. I know they have, like, you know, the simple fights to these grand scale like battles that are pretty much like, I don't want to say planetary or country level, but like when you read the manga you'll know. And again, avoiding any spoilers. By that point, I'll probably let it mellow out either right before or after it ends, just so I can read through the rest. The possibilities are endless for this series, and I like that it's just living in the moment. I definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't gone into it already and likes stuff like this. But anyways, that's all I got. I hope you liked my first anime review video. Also, I'll be doing a lot more videos like this soon, so comment down below, suggest any shows or animes you'd like to see me review. Drop a like, let me know what you think of the video, and peace out, homies. Goodbye.